Hare Krishna everyone. I'm Kavya Budhiraja and welcome back to Being Krishna Conscious. Today's video is going to be very significant. It is oftentimes seen that some of us want to practice bhakti, but our family members, our parents don't approve of it. So, in that situation, is it not possible for us to do bhakti? Well, in this video, I am going to tell you a few practical and effective ways by following which we can start our sadhana, our bhakti while sitting at home and at the same time not disappoint our parents. So let's get started. The first important thing to understand is that the path that we are trying to follow teaches us tolerance. It teaches us vinamrita, being humble. So the first point is to be patient, to be tolerant. Don't fight with your parents if they don't approve you for doing bhakti, if they don't approve you for going temple. Don't fight back. Try to be patient, try to be tolerant. Because the more patient you are, the more easily you will be able to convince them that how beautiful is this journey of devotion of bhakti. So the first point is be patient and have control on yourself. Now the second point must be our priority. The foundation of bhakti lies upon the quality of chanting. To chant is very important for doing our sadhana. Srila Prabhupada said that 99% of our devotional progress depends upon the quality of our chanting. भक्ति का 99% इस बात के ऊपर निर्भर करता है कि हमारे जपा की क्वालिटी कैसी है. Without chanting, there is no scope of advancing in bhakti. Kali Kale Naam Rupe Krishna Avatar. In the age of Kali Yuga, it is the name, it is the holy name of Krishna in which Krishna himself descends. Let's try to understand this with the help of an example. So in Satya Yuga, there was a great demon by the name of Hiranyakashipu. This Hiranyakashipu had a son. His name was Prahlad Maharaj. Now contrastingly, Prahlad was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu and Hiranyakashipu was very envious of Lord Vishnu. So when Hiranyakashipu asked his son Prahlad, "What did you learn in school?" Prahlad started glorifying Vishnu. And Hiranyakashipu, hearing this, got so angry that he wanted to kill his own son, little Prahlad. So he tried to kill Prahlad in so many different ways. He threw him off the cliff. He put Prahlad inside a room full of venomous snakes. But nothing happened because Prahlad kept chanting the names of Vishnu. He kept chanting the names of Krishna. So it was the name of Krishna which protected Prahlad. So if that name worked in Satya Yuga, won't it work in Kali Yuga, in which Krishna himself appears in the form of his holy name, Kali Kale Naam Rupe Krishna Avatar? So to chant the holy name of Krishna must be our first priority in our devotional life. Now what is chanting and how should we chant? What is the correct way of chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra? For this, I have made a separate video. I will put the link to that video in the description box below. You may kindly go and watch the same. Now the question comes, how can we stay motivated on this path of bhakti? How can we stay motivated to chant the holy names of Krishna? Well, for this, we have our next point, which is our third point. It is to hear the pastimes of the Lord from the lips of a bona fide or a pure devotee of Krishna. The important part is to hear Hari Katha from the lips of a bona fide source. So we should try to go to temple at least once a week or once a month whenever it is possible for us to hear this Hari Katha from Vaishnavas. And if your parents don't approve that you go to temple, you can also have this sadhu sung through online medium. In the recent years of COVID-19, when it was impossible to visit any spiritual place, so everyone started having online sessions. So that is also a great way to associate with devotees and to hear Hari Katha from bona fide sources. If you are new on this path, I would suggest that you must hear lectures of Srila Prabhupada, which are easily available online. He has presented this Krishna consciousness philosophy in the easiest way possible, and you must hear him. Now, coming to the fourth point, which is reading. We should try to read scriptures, because the more you read Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and other Vedic literature, the more you will understand who is Krishna, what is my relationship with Krishna. If I am eternally connected with Krishna, then what am I doing here? And why are bad things happening with me if I am not doing bad with others? Why has Krishna sent me here? Why can't I see Krishna? Can't Krishna just come before me and give me darshan? Where does Krishna stay? Is there any spiritual world? And if there is a spiritual world, then what am I doing here? Why am I not there with him? And what is the way to go back home, back to our spiritual world? All of these questions have been answered in our Vedic literature. The only need is that we pick them up and start reading. And if the situation is such that you are not able to read these scriptures in front of your parents, or they don't approve of it, then there are various PDF files available even on online sources. You can have access to them. So, till now, we have discussed the importance of chanting, hearing, and reading. Now, coming to our fifth point, we all must have seen how Indian married women dress themselves. They have various ornaments on their bodies. Just like ornaments of a married woman is her Mangal Sutra and her Sindoor in the name of her husband. Similarly, the ornaments of a devotee is the Mangal Sutra, which is in form of this Kanthi, and Sindoor, which is in form of this Tilak. By accepting these ornaments, we are telling Krishna, "Oh my dear Krishna, I only belong to you. You are my eternal master." And if you cannot apply this tilak, because it would definitely be visible to your family members who don't approve of it, then in that case, you can apply tilak even with water. But make sure to apply it every day. Point number 6. We all must try to offer Tulasi leaf to Krishna. As we all know, Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha. We offer our respectful obeisances unto the Tulasi plant. Why? Because it is Krishna Preyasi. It is the dearmost to Lord Sri Krishna. And we all must have seen that Krishna doesn't accept even that bhog, even the food offering, without having Tulasi leaf on top of it. So how can Krishna accept us, the jivas, the living entities, without having the mercy of Tulasi Maharani? So it is only by the mercy of Srimati Tulasi Devi that Krishna bestows mercy upon us. And in order to be accepted by Krishna, we must take shelter of Tulasi Devi, who will recommend us to Krishna. So we all must try to offer a Tulasi leaf to Krishna every day, and especially on Ekadashi, because the phal, the result that you get on Ekadashi is many times higher compared to any other day. Tip number 7. Observe Ekadashi fasting. Ekadashi is also known as Madhav Tithi, which means that this day is dearmost to Lord Sri Krishna. Ekadashi is also known as Bhakti Janani, which means that this day is the mother of Bhakti. By observing the Tithi of Ekadashi sincerely and lovingly, Bhakti Devi will arise in our heart. So observe Ekadashi fasting, which comes every 15 days. And on the day of Ekadashi, try to chant as much as possible, try to hear and read Krishna Katha as much as possible, and try to associate with the devotees as much as possible. Because this day has the capacity to take you closer to Krishna faster than any other tithi. Coming to the final tip of this video, which is tip number 8. People oftentimes think that by reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita, by following its principles in life, our child will become a sannyasi. He will leave this household life and he'll go to Himalayas to do bhakti and tapasya. Well, that is not the case. We must understand that who is Krishna giving this most confidential information to? It is Arjun. Now we have to understand that Arjun is not a sannyasi. He is a grahastha. He is into household life. He has children. He has wives. So it is not a sannyasi that Krishna is giving this upadesh to. It is a grahastha. And what is Krishna saying? He is telling Arjuna, Karmanyavadhikaraste ma faleshu kadachana ma karmafal hetur bhur mate sangos pakarmani. O Arjun, you are only supposed to perform your prescribed duties. You are not entitled to the fruit of that duty. You must not think of yourself as the cause, as the karta, and at the same time, you should not be attached to not doing your prescribed duties. So Krishna is not telling Arjun to give up everything, to give up this Mahabharat war and go to Himalayas and perform sadhana tapasya. No, he is not saying that. He is telling Arjun, hey Arjun, you are a Kshatriya, and the prescribed duty according to our Vedic scriptures of a Kshatriya is to protect dharma, is to fight for the sake of dharma, and you must not give up that prescribed duty. So if Arjun's heart can be transformed by just hearing this upadesh known as Bhagavad Gita, then won't our hearts be transformed as well? And won't we be also inclined towards doing our prescribed duties? This is what Bhagavad Gita teaches us. It does not teach us to give up everything, but it explains that how we must do our prescribed duties. So don't think that by following the principles of Gita, you'll become a sannyasi. No, but we will become better in our day-to-day activities. So our tip number 8 is that you must try to perform your prescribed duties properly. For example, if you are a student, then study properly. If you are a working professional, then try to do your work properly. And do it for the pleasure of Krishna, because it is Krishna who has given you this wonderful opportunity to serve him in a way that he desires. So these were our 8 tips how we can perform bhakti even while being at home, and at the same time not disappoint our family members in case they don't approve of our bhakti. And ultimately, try to offer your heartfelt prayers at the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, because Krishna is the ultimate magician. He can turn around things just on a click of his finger. So we should not underestimate the power of offering our prayers while you're chanting, while you're reading, while you're performing anything for the pleasure of Krishna. Try to have this offering attitude. Try to have a prayerful mood that, oh dear Krishna, whatever I'm doing, it is only for your pleasure. Please kindly bless me so that I may never leave this wonderful, amazing, and rare path of this Krishna Bhakti. Because Shastras mention, Brahmand Brahmite Kaun Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasad Pai Bhakti Lata Bij, that even in the whole Brahmand, to find such a Jiva is very rare, who has got the seed of devotion by the mercy, by the kripa of Guru and Krishna. So if by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, if you have got this wonderful path of devotion, do not leave it. Try to make best use out of this human form of life, because we all know that this human form of life is very rare. So the right time to start bhakti is right now. Do not waste any second. Try to offer yourself to Krishna and ultimately go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna, Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar ki Jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.